Happy Father's Day, everyone. We're going to get started here very quickly. Welcome to your solution, a no gambling zone on Sundays where you can join in finding your answer, your step, your motivation, your clue. 30 to 45 minutes of mind optimization, spirit calibration, and who knows what else we can get on this broadcast here going. I am challenged to be here today. Are you challenged to be here? What are we going to achieve on this platform tonight? It is Father's Day. I have a proverb I'm going to be reading here in just a moment and acknowledge all of you. We've had a few donations, so thank you for that. We've had a few donations to keep the platform going. So there's a little bit more. There's a deadline, June 22nd. And I believe we're at $190. That's revenues from YouTube and a few donations. So thank you guys for helping me stay on the air. I'll appreciate that there. And so you want to make sure that you get in here. Make sure that you get in here, put on your seatbelt, turn your distractions down. Just if they don't need to be on, just turn them off altogether. And time's going to go by very quickly here. Grab a pen, piece of paper, grab a note. In fact, I'm even giving away journals on the broadcast. Really cool little journals. If you want a journal, let me know. I'm doing one per broadcast until I run out of them. So if you want a journal, let me know. And the first person to let me know, hey, Santos, I want a journal. It's gone, and I need an address to send it to. It's the 5-minute gratitude journal. Pretty cool little journal. I'm sending it to you free of charge. If you want it, let me know. All right, enough said there. Hey, Jim, welcome. We're going to be bringing Jim on a little bit here. We're going to be speaking about intuition on this program. Race, welcome. Mark Cameroon, welcome. Kelly Luna's not going to be here. She let us know. I look forward to your live. Won't be able to attend. I work from 4 to 12. All right. So let me turn this down. Ephesians 5:8 is the proverb for today. But we're going to be taking on this topic of intuition. Do you guys know what intuition is? Where does intuition come from? And can intuition help the gambler stop losing all of the money? I got a question for you specifically. Are you losing $1,000 or more a month? Are you losing $1,000 or more on a monthly basis? Or maybe you're losing $1,000 or more doing something else other than casino gambling. Are you interested in saving that money? Are you interested in saving that money? All right, let's get into this. Sure, bro. Journal. Well, send me an address and I'll send it out to you. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. By the way, we're going to be here 30 minutes. I think time's going to go by very quick. We are broadcasting via Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So in order for me to continue to broadcast, that's why I said the last episode that we needed to raise some capital. I need to raise some capital, right, in order to stay on Yardstream. Yardstream is about $240 a year. So that's the cost for me to be here. And I just appreciate all of the contributions. Okay. So thank you guys. You guys have helped. We're about 190, close to 200. And I think it's 240. So we're going to wait on YouTube revenue and maybe, who knows, I'll get a donation or two. Never know. I might get a donation on this broadcast. It might take us over the edge. So thank you, tribesmen, community, soldiers. Get excited, man. We're going to defeat gambling all the way. By the way, did I forget to say this? I think I did last time. Gambling's a lie. Let me speak into the microphone. Gambling's a lie. Anyways, hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Well, my email is right there on the screen. If you send me an address or a post office box right there to my email, I'll send you a journal. It's right there every Sunday. I don't know. Can you guys see that? I'm not sure if you guys can see my email. Connect with Santos. Anyhow, Jim, what's Jim got to say today about intuition? Let me see. And by the way, I'm really focused on stopping, right? If you're losing a lot of money, listen, if you're losing a lot of money, this is the place. If you're losing a lot of money monthly, this is the place to be right here. You're at the right place at the right time. We're going to help you. We're going to help you cap that bottle that's leaking. Okay, we're going to help you seal that asphalt that's cracked and it's leaking. Your money's leaking through the asphalt. We're going to help you patch that bag that has holes. Your money bag. Yes, you do have a money bag, don't you? Are you aware that it's got holes in it? Well, we're going to help you patch it on this broadcast. All right, you with me? Are you with me? You want to patch that bag? Save all that money that's going out? You don't even see it, right? You think you don't see it. You know where your money's going. We've got a proverb coming up here. Monday, happy Father's Day. Thank you. Yes. So here's the link. Let me see. If anybody else wants to join me on the broadcast, you're welcome. Come on. You can talk about, oh, let me go back there. Copy the clipboard. We don't want to go there. But I want to read something about intuition because intuition is very mysterious to me. And I think that we don't have a clear understanding of where or how it comes to us. So where did it come from? I believe the master above has something to do with it. But I want to read something here about intuition. So there's the link. If you want to come on the camera, you're welcome to do that. What is intuition? Oh, man, I almost forgot there. I got to read the proverb, man. You guys didn't remind me. By the way, I want to send a shout out. Those of you that are watching, I don't know where you're watching from, but you're seeing this broadcast. And if you can't be here, you can always send me a question via email. I will respond. Guaranteed, I will respond to you. If you're looking for support, don't look no other place. If you're looking for support to get away from problem gambling, you're just tired of losing money. You're tired of losing $1,000 or more every single month. You're tired. I mean, how much more? Like Putin, right? Putin's firing up all these missiles. How much longer can he go? How much longer can Putin go? President Putin. Well, I'm sure he could probably go a long way. Maybe. I don't know. His economy is being crushed. So that's the question that I have for you. Do you want to seal up the bag, the money bag that has holes in it? Is that an interest to you? Is that something that you want to start doing this week? Is that something that you want to start doing today? Oi, right now. Why? Because gambling's a lie. For you or some, this is Ephesians 5:8, my friends. My friends, Ephesians 5:8, it says, for you were sometimes darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. Now we all have work to do, man. I admit, man, I've got work to do on me. Do you feel like you got a lot of work to do on yourself? Sometimes you just look at yourself and say, man, I got all this stuff to work on, and will I get to it? Will it ever happen? Will I find a way? Will I find your answer, a solution? All right, Jim. Where in the world does intuition come from? There we go. Mr. Jim's on board with us. Tucson, Arizona.
Hey there,
The
Santos.
exercise bike man.
How you doing?
I'm working on super fantastic.
That's
Where
great.
does intuition come from, Jim? What do you think about it? Does a let me ask you this: would a gambler benefit from really focusing on his intuition when it comes to the loss of money, the big losses? Does intuition play a part in any of this, or is it just kind of a good topic?
Well, I mean, it's like I guess intuition seems like it's a positive thing that that I believe kind of directs you to a beneficial place, a safe place, a better place, maybe a guide away from danger, or a guide to somewhere that's positive. Um, Seems like it's something based upon previous experience. It's your antennas popping up, your little feelers kind of sensing and kind of gauging what's going on.
Yeah,
And I mean, like intuition is probably based upon your past experience, you know, telling you, where to go, if there's danger ahead. You just have that feeling. They talk about women, having that intuition.
yeah.
Something
Women have it
doesn't.
higher. I believe women have a higher level
Hmm.
of it than
Right,
men do,
and
and I
sense
think it's
it.
because they're more emotional sensitivity there.
Hmm. Yeah, and I guess it's something that's a positive thing that you can tap into. I mean, if you really kind of concentrate and kind of be a little bit more self-aware of your feelings, it's okay. Here I'm in this situation, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like it's called, what is that called? Situational awareness. When I took a concealed carry um, weapons training, it's like one of the biggest things that you can have is situational awareness, understanding your environment. What's going on, looking at the people, and it's like where am I positioned, and kind of having a sense, if there's something fishy going on or not. And
Yeah.
just be ready for a lot of nonsense that might pop up. Um, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's something important also that I've been on this broadcast for over a year and a half, and I've never spoken. I've never really spoken about intuition because I've never really thought about intuition. Yet intuition is like in all of us, and we. I believe that. I believe that um, we've severely compromised it. We've compromised intuition because I was doing some research and some studying, and I found that I don't know. Intuition is it's an interesting thing because you don't even have to have experience for intuition to warn you about something.
Hmm.
Now, if your intuition is compromised, if you if you are a person that has gone through a lot of trauma most of your early foundation in life, then your intuition is compromised. If it just keeps it's like your emotions. It's really I'm sure they're intertwined, right? Or even like when you think about it, values like mind values that produce behavior. If your mind values are compromised, it produces a bad behavior. So if your intuition is compromised, you don't make sound judgment in many areas. You end up making mistakes. And I know this from personal experience, but I've never really studied intuition. I've looked into it a couple times, and just, I had the intuition, the intuitive thought to speak or to look into this topic and to share it with you guys this Sunday. That was intuition, I believe. And sometimes I get these hunches or these thoughts. Hey, why don't you think about this to share or talk about this? This might, and I start taking notes and I start studying, and it's really interesting. It takes me down a path, and I share with you guys. But one of the key things that really struck me was that intuition. You don't have to have experience, not necessarily, but When you build up experience about certain things, I don't know if that's real intuition because you've already experienced something. Intuition is like a warning sign without you even being, maybe you've gone to a certain place and you've never been there before. You've never had an experience with a type of people there, or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't people, maybe it was just an environment. But you get this really, really weird feeling inside while you're there and something doesn't feel right. There's no experience there. That's like, I believe that has to do with your, um, what is it? Your survival mode. Is that the
Yeah,
term?
yeah.
Your
It's
survival.
it's tricky thing. It's pretty tricky, I think. I mean, because it's like you have to kind of base it upon your feelings and your focus. Uh, I watch, I check out some of these gloom and doom kinds of economic YouTubers, and that's all they kind of focus on is gloom and doom. Everything's awful, things are collapsing, and it seems like your energy, your attitude, your feelings are kind of directed in a certain place. Um, and maybe my intuition is saying that, you know what, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right when I listen to these people. It's interesting that I get a comfortable feeling, you know, listening to these people, seeing that, and I ask myself, why do I get this comfortable feeling, but why do I feel like, something's not right listening to these gloom and doom people? And I kind of think about it, and I think about, well, it's like, I'm getting, something's not right. I don't know. I mean, I think about it, and
Yeah,
I start piecing things together, and I think I kind of find the truth. But yeah, I mean, you got to kind of think about, your feelings, and why do you have these kinds of feelings? Why do I have these kinds of feelings of comfort watching gloom and doomers? Why do I feel that maybe this is not right? you
yeah.
know and the intuition can kind of direct you into a more of like a logical direction to go. It's like, yeah, yeah, I feel comfortable at the casino, some people might say. It's fun, but something's not right. Something doesn't feel right.
Mhm.
And then you kind of start thinking about it. You see, people looking around, just smoking or drinking, or just doing a lot of behavior. It's like, wow, this doesn't, something's wrong here, right? Something's wrong. I
Mhm.
don't think I'm in the right place. I don't think this is good for me. So I mean, it's like, yeah, you gotta kind of just stop and think, and you just kind of get in touch with your feelings. you know it's like, are these really truly good feelings that I have, wholesome feelings? Me being at this place, yeah, it's fun, it's lively, or having a good time,
Mhm.
but I mean, is it really good for you? Is it really good for you? Is it really a positive
Yeah.
thing? So yeah, intuition, you just kind of have to stop and kind of think, right? And just tap into those feelings.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I've never really, I've even though you get thoughts every once in a while. You're doing something and you'll get a thought about a certain individual, and you'll wonder, man, why am I getting these thoughts? Is it me? Is it? It's like there's something. It's almost like it's a sense. It is a certain knowledge, and that's the thing. It's like we all have this ability. I believe it is a gift, and I believe that we need to develop this gift because we need it more than ever, I think, today. The problem is that most of us that have had a really bad childhood, we're just compromised. It's hard to trust that intuition inside, because there's been times where I've had intuition and then afterwards I did the wrong thing, and then I said to myself, man, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it inside. Whether it was getting off at the right exit or speaking to somebody about a certain thing, whatever it was. And then afterwards, I realized, man, I'm gonna start really listening to my intuition, because I'm missing out. You miss out opportunities in life if you don't listen to your intuition.
Yeah,
Or you know you your intuition will be, there's a verse in the proverb that says that your conscience can be seared like with a hot iron. I was ironing some some trousers I had the other day. I didn't realize that they were partial polyester. So I left the iron on too long, and I actually I seared the material. I seared it, I damaged it. So, yeah, it was repairable, but now there's a patch there. My point in this is that your conscience is like that polyester that can be seared with a hot iron. And what is the hot iron that sears our conscience? It ruins our intuition. If you don't, if you ignore that, if you continue to ignore it, and that's what we do as children. As children, we ignore intuition because intuition is very fresh early on, I believe, right? Your child, your survival instincts are extremely high. And if you don't have the right foundation guiding you and helping you build, what happens? You're building a bad foundation with cracks in it, and with cracks and soft spots, and eventually later on in life, man, people are going to step on those soft spots. The cracks are going to You're going to leak. Your life is going to leak through those cracks, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, or whether it's your attitude. And I find this in my life. I have found this ever since I broke away from problem gambling. I'm beginning to see all these areas that were compromised. The gambling covered up a lot of stuff, you know. So I'm grateful for this thing called intuition. It's like, I don't know, it's like a neat thing to me. The challenge to really get this thing fired up and use it, you know. Oh yeah, that's my intuition kicking in. I know I'm correct on this one, that kind of stuff. So anyhow, uh, going on. So what do you say about this? The That you don't have to have knowledge for your intuition to work.
yeah.
Not
Sometimes
necessarily.
I think you got to kind of be careful too. Um, uh, yeah, like you said. I mean, it's important to think about your feelings and your decisions and the outcomes. And don't beat yourself up too much for making a wrong decision, but
Just a
kind of
little
be
bit.
aware. Just kind of be aware of, what was the outcome and what happened, and kind of realize, okay, I need to start listening, a little bit more to how I feel, you know. Um, Sometimes if you grew up in a childhood where you had a lot of emotional trauma, I mean, it can really screw up your ability to sense what is, really dangerous, or what's not dangerous, what's perceived as dangerous, what's threatening, or what's not. I mean, like you talked about, having a fear of men, you know, because of your father. I remember you talked about that, and and it's like, and when someone approaches you, as you're like an adolescent or a young man, it could be threatened, but wait a minute, I gotta watch out, this guy, he might punch me or something like that, is that feeling valid? Is that your intuition kicking in, or is that something else? So I mean, I think
Well,
thinking about your intuition is a good start to like really kind of finding out about, where your emotions come from.
yeah, it's like the dummy light in the car. The little dummy light in the car. It used to be dummy lights. Now they're computerized and it sends you a message. It's a little message with the light on. But
Check
before it used
engine.
to be the dummy light. So if
Hmm.
you ignore you got low oil or your
Hmm.
transmission is, you got that light going on, the little amber light going on. If you ignore it, the light goes off.
Yeah.
The bulb will burn out,
Yeah.
and then you'll end up crashing your vehicle because the transmission is no longer riding on full oil or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with our lives. We've got the dummy lights going on. The gambler has a lot of dummy lights going off. You know, the gambler has a lot of dummy lights going off. The problem is that he's not paying attention, or she's
Yeah.
not paying attention to the dummy light. So your intuition is there. I believe we all have it, even though it's compromised. We all have it.
Hmm.
It is like a muscle type thing also that you can develop. Is intuition a little bit different than emotional intelligence? I know that it's all tied in, but emotional intelligence is a little different than intuition or gained knowledge. When you go through things in life, you have experiences where you've been through it before. I'm not going to go through this before because the last time I got my ear bit off, Mike Tyson. So I'm not jumping in the ring this time again with the guy because it hurt, the bleeding and stuff. So you have that knowledge, but intuition is a whole different. You might get that feeling. You're going to get paid on Friday. You got a nice paycheck. You work some overtime. You took care of a few bills, but you're getting a really big paycheck, and and you're already feeling at the pit. You're feeling something uneasy about that check. It's not even Friday. It's Tuesday, and you're already feeling something uneasy about that check. You know. So what do most people do? They ignore that, right? Most gamblers ignore that little signal. It comes Wednesday, Thursday. They ignored the dummy light. It's still blinking. So now the friend calls. Somebody that shows, I haven't seen this guy in 2 years. All of a sudden, he's in town. New car, and he's ready to go to the casino again. Man, he's going to be around Friday. See how these things start working? They start working against you. Next, Friday come. You ignored the dummy light. You've just ironed your own polyester pants. You've seared your polyester material with a hot iron, man. And come Friday, and you're right through the doors,
Yeah.
or whatever. I was compromising a little bit with cryptocurrency. I had to cut it out because I found myself kind of not gambling because cryptocurrency is a little different than just slot machines. There's knowledge behind it. At least you should have some knowledge. But I had to slow that down because I can't afford to be buying crypto. And now look at the way it is with everything. So there's a lot of gamble, and if we don't listen, if we don't build up our intuition, man, we're gonna get screwed, blued, and tattooed, Jim.
Yeah. That intuition, like you say, that check engine light. That's a real thing. And the reason side of our brain says, you know, warning, look out. It's like you see that paycheck. You know, don't you dare spend that paycheck. That's that invisible message. That's the facts. That's the reason. That's the reason side of your brain. But then you see these emotional things start kicking in. We know that you shouldn't be spending that paycheck. That's common sense, right? But these emotions, they'll overtake you, and they'll cause you to do stuff that you know that goes against reason. You know, um, so yeah, I mean, it's important to listen to those check engine lights that go off. And
Yeah,
yeah, the check engine light might be just a loose fuel cap, right? You know,
something minor,
could be
minor,
could be
little.
my yeah, just something like
Yeah,
that. But be aware, right? Or what are these? What is this? Whoop, something went off. It's like, huh, and then that should perk up your senses. Perk up your thinking. You know,
yeah. You lost $30 yesterday. You lost $55. It's funny. I run into people that say, "Yeah, I just take $40 to the casino and I have a good time." Bullshit. You're lying. You don't take $45. You take double that and you go into the ATM card. People, we minimize all these things, and it's like, no, because I used to do the same thing. I didn't tell anybody about my losses. I told people about my winnings, which weren't much, and we ignore intuition. The problem gambler would do good to study the word intuition. The problem gambler would do very well to begin to recognize his or her own intuition. The businessman, the person in a relationship, but in particular, we're talking about gambling here. By the way, did I remember to say this? Gambling's a lie? Something like that. So Jim's sharing some good insight here. We got to challenge each other because when it comes to these things, I mean, there's a lot of learning here. By the way, shout out to Facebook, shout out to LinkedIn. I'm not doing Twitter feed, and I see the numbers are jumping up. Wow, I've had a pretty good crowd here. I'm kind of amazed today. Thank you. Remember, we've got a $40 deadline coming up. Anybody that wants to contribute to keep this platform going on, we got a $40 deadline coming up here on the 22nd. So YouTube has had some revenues, not bad, close to 200 over the last couple of months. It takes a long time to get some monies together there. But that's how I pay for this platform, by the way. It's just 240 a year, yard stream for me to be able to do this and invite other people. I can have up to 10 guests and have all these wonderful logos and different things. So it's not bad, 240 a year. Anyhow, thank you for those of you that have contributed. So when it comes to the problem gambler, does the problem gambler need to focus on his or her intuition? Should they? Is it a good thing? Or is this just another talking point, right? We'll talk about these things and then we'll just forget about it. What about the fact that you're in a vehicle and you get your intuition tells you to go a different path? We hear people doing this all the time. They avoid accidents, major accidents, and stuff like that. And there's been times where I've got it right. How about you, Jim? There's been times where I did get it right. My intuition told me something. There's been times that I'm talking to individuals, and this happens. It doesn't happen a whole lot because I'm not out there specifically doing what I used to do. Um, when I'd be talking to somebody and I'd say, "Hey, is your name Maria or is your name Jose?" And they'd just look at me and say, "How did you know that?" It's just a good guess. Intuition. It's knowing something that you had no idea of knowing. I mean, sure, could it be a good guess? Yeah, but how does that name come to you? You know, I've guessed at least on several occasions, I've guessed a couple of different names, and I'm like, I surprised myself because I was correct with the name, but they were shocked also. Now, in a couple of instances, I guessed the name, but they said, "How did you know that?" And I said, "Well, I just read your tag at Walmart." Anyways, people are kind of shocked sometimes. They're like, they forget they got their tag upside down. Man, they got their name tag. You got your name tag right here. That's how I know who you are. So what do you say, Jim?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. A lot of people, a lot of us are in in a routine. A lot of us are on we kind of go through life kind of like on a treadmill almost. It's like we have a routine, and it's like we don't think about the things that we do, like driving. You don't really think about it; you just do it, right? You don't like we get into these patterns, right? And we don't really think about what we're doing, right? We're not really thinking about it. We're just doing stuff like going to work.
Subconscious is
Yeah,
subconscious
some
driving.
people, going to the bar, going to the casino, just going to the fast food restaurant, they don't think about it. Just it's something I do over and over again. It's like these habits that we do and we don't think about it. They could be destructive to you, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, having that intuition, it's like, oh, it's like how come I'm losing my breath? Oh gosh, going up these flights of stairs, it's like, you could just, just shrug it off. It's like, yeah, I'm going up to work, it's like that's what I'm doing. But I'm listening to my body, I'm listening to how I feel. And so, gosh, something doesn't seem right. I used to be, I used to have more energy. What's going on? Something's not right. Something's not right. And you start asking these questions. You start asking these questions. Is this the right path or the wrong path? What the hell am I doing? Why am I here? It's like, this is what you always do. Shit, this I mean, I could be just wasting my time in this pattern of doing a lot of nonsense. Wow.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
waking up, man. It's like this listening to your intuition kind of wakes you up. You start smelling something. What's that smell? Something doesn't smell right. Uh-oh, you know. Something doesn't feel right. Gosh. I bet, huh. So I don't know. I mean, it's like we got to go and kind of be aware of, like, this zombie mode that we kind of get into, always repeating certain habits, doing things. We don't think about why we're doing them and how it's affecting us.
yeah.
And
We're.
intuition.
It seems like to me, Jim, like we're moving more and more into a survival mode. We are moving more and more into a stronger, stricter survival mode.
Hmm.
And when you're in a stricter survival mode, you start losing. I believe that if you're not careful, you could lose uh, sensitivity like intuition.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or could you be the more sensitive you are in survival mode, does that intuition get heightened?
To what you're focusing on, maybe.
And again, it really depends on the training. It depends on the training that you're getting right now, and it also has a large in almost everything to do with the foundation that you have from early on. Unfortunately, some people can't. Some people are just not going to make it because of the foundation that they had early on. They're just not going to make it.
It's been grooved
They're
into
not
them too
concerned
deep.
about any of this. They're not concerned about intuition. They're not concerned about people that are living, they're just in survival, in a very strict survival mode. They're not thinking about emotional intelligence. They're not thinking about intuition. And this is important. Community, I believe this topic is very important because it's not about the big things in life, it's about the little things. It's about the little things that add up, the compromises that add up, uh, and what happens. I think the biggest factor. Wow, we've hit a number that I haven't seen in a while. So thank you for shout out to Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. We we fall in these little areas and then we just begin to compromise and it just gets out of hand and then we don't know where to start. We don't know how to fix anything. And people just go off, man. They check out. They check out. Either they check out through prescriptions in the insane asylum, heavy doses of medication, or they check out by suicide, or they check out down there by the river. Remember that SNL
Yeah.
skit with that big fella? What was his name? He was really big. He
Steve.
passed
Yeah.
away.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I live in
Farley.
a
Chris Farley.
van down by the river. That guy. Remember him? And
Yeah.
those are the only alternatives that we have. And that number of people is growing very, very big. The,
Yeah.
the ability to reason and sit down and really, um, I was listening to a video the other day, and I believe it was either um, was one of the inventors, man. What was who was it? Um, Isaac Newton, I believe. I believe it was Isaac. So Isaac would in order to tap into intuition and into his sixth sense, he would fall asleep with a ball, a metal bearing in his hand. I believe it was him. It's kind of interesting. So he would fall asleep, And as soon as he fell asleep, his hand would open and that ball, that bearing would fall into a steel pot and make a noise. Bing, and wake him up. And he would do that in and out, in and out. And you know what he was doing? He was actually getting answers and solutions from that little period where it's almost like a sleep. It's not, we go through these waves, mind waves, delta, theta, what's the other one? And we can get into a state of mind where we actually begin to get solutions out of it. It's kind of interesting how these inventors work, you know. And I notice, I don't know if you notice, Jim, in the mornings when you wake up, I got a lot of fresh thoughts, man, flowing through my mind. You know, so many of them sometimes I can't even write them down. I can't keep up with them. But
Hmm.
I latch on to a few of those thoughts and I do things with them. You know, they just
Yeah.
floating around and stuff. It could be money ideas. It could be all. And again, you have to follow your heart. You really have to follow your heart. You have to follow your dream. You have to follow your intuition. Listen, you might feel all alone. You might be all alone. Maybe your business or whatever it is that you've got going on is just a big struggle for you and you're doubting it. You're doubting it, but yet deep down inside, you feel like, man, this is what I really want. This is what I really need, what I really want. And you feel good about it, but yet that struggle, man,
Yeah.
hold on to that. That's my call to action. Hold on to that. Will intuition help you in that area where you focus a little bit more on how to build it up? You know, how do you build up your intuition? We're all different. We're all different. How do you build up your intuition?
Yeah.
Wow,
Getting
numbers
back
are
to what
going.
you're talking about. You're talking about some people who have just fallen so far down they can't pick up their head. And I think that's the reason why you have this show. That's the reason why people more than ever need to, you know, surround themselves with something that's positive. You know, it's like light. You know what I mean? It's like they need to see some type of hope, right? Hope. I
Yeah,
mean, if you don't have any hope, if you don't have any, some type of promise for a better tomorrow, it's like why even try? They can't see themselves in a better place, right? So I mean, it's very important for people to find places like this. And when you're talking about intuition, these words that we're talking about, they're tools, right? They are
yep,
tools to help direct our thinking.
yeah,
We want to be able to really kind of think about, our situation, why we are here, why are we feeling the way we are feeling, why am I in the position and the place I am in life, is it good or bad, and what can I do, do I like it here, is there a way out? And you listen to people with tools, ideas. Not all things will work for everyone, but it's just a constant accumulation, and you're going to find something that'll work for you. Intuition, right? It's a tool right there, tapping in
yeah.
to something that you have inside of you to help direct you in a better way, right? I mean, start listening to yourself, start, being more aware,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, that's very
Yeah.
important for a person who's trying to dig themselves out of a hole, right? You gotta focus on places that will give you that light of hope, like this place.
Like, for instance, I know one or two people that had intuition to come to this broadcast tonight. They had any intuition, but they didn't follow it. Why? Because they instead of focusing on the wall of fame, they focus on the wall of shame. Either they gambled or they're gonna gamble. So they didn't come to the broadcast. Just,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I've had some numbers. I've seen some numbers here today that I haven't seen in a while. I'm kind of
good
impressed. So
marketing.
thank you, all of you, community members. By the way, if you're not soldier scribed to this place here, Soldiers of Self Mastery, do it immediately. Soldier scribe. This is a no gambling zone. This is guaranteed to stop the gambling here, if that's what you want. By the way, I had a chance to give away the journal today, so thank you for accepting my offer. I'm going to be doing the 5 minute journal A gratitude journal. I've given one here to looks like Mark Cameroon wanted it. Last time I tried to give one away, I picked the winner. Nothing ever happened. So if you want it, you get it. If you don't want it, you don't get it. It's just like that. So Mark gets it. By the way, I do have a couple of different ones. They're pretty cool little journal. They've got some notes inside. You can actually a little thing that brought joy today. What did you do for my recovery? What did I do for my recovery today? Today's highlight. Today's low moment. Notes. Maybe it has to do with intuition that you can write something in here. Really cool. So I've got that one. I've got a couple of different ones, and I'm just going to give some away. I happened to get was at a store and I scored, man. You got to seize the moment, folks. Got to seize. I love journaling. Journaling's turned my life around, man. Here's a different one, just for today. A guided journal for healing, hope, and daily care. So I'm giving them away. I've got quite a few of them, and I'm going to be doing some books. I've got a few books. I want to help. I want to support those of you that are out there supporting me. Anyway, man, we've had a large number. Jim, I've never seen a crowd this big. So that's
Good
really
topic,
cool.
Santos.
Yeah, it looks like some people are listening. I hope that they're taking notes and walking away with something here. We're going to be coming down to the end of the broadcast. I do want to thank you. Oh, a few people here acknowledge Marvin Martinez. Dude, I tried not to bet on boxing. I get bored. I'm looking to start school. Keep me busy. There's a good idea right there. Start school. Um, okay, city by city. Let me make sure. Sports betting is different. Yes, it is. It'll get you hooked even faster. Watch out for that one. And I live in Vegas, so it makes it harder. Yes, it's like the guy that, no, I'm not selling journals. I'm giving them away. On each broadcast, I will give one away. One journal, meditated guided journal. These are cool. They're not just little books, they're guided journals. Really nice. So I will do that. Next broadcast, first person that says, I want a journal, I'll send it out to you. As long as you're in the US, if you're outside the US, you better make a donation because I'm not spending over $20 for shipping something overseas or anything like that. So I did it before, but I don't get enough the donations to be doing stuff like that. So anyhow, once again, I do thank you for your contributions. Those of you that do have supported the mission. Yeah, we're coming down to the wire here. So my question to the gamblers, to all the gamblers, including myself, right? Can intuition focus help the gambler? Will intuition focus help the gambler save more than $1,000 a month? If you're losing 1,500 and you start focusing on intuition, would it help you save? Would it help you put a few patches on your bag, on your money bag? Yeah, a few patches on your money bag is better than no patches at all. At least it's a start. That sounded pretty good. It's a start. It's weird. I haven't spoken about intuition in most of the broadcasts that I've been on. So this has been an interesting topic. Anyways, we are going to land this Cessna. We've been flying high for a little bit. Get near the airport. Got to land this thing, refuel, get ready for Monday, and and give Jim a chance to share a little bit more here. Like I said, if you're interested in coming on the camera and sharing your story, asking a question, if you're serious about getting support, I'm willing to support you. Come on, face your challenge, right? You could have intuition on this broadcast and totally ignored it. What was the intuition? I don't know. Maybe it was to come on the camera and share something. Or maybe there's a question that you wanted to ask, but you didn't ask it. What do you say, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, like I like the topic of intuition and to kind of expand on, these tools that we're developing. It's don't be afraid to, use your intuition. and act on your intuition, okay? And if things don't go right, just be patient with yourself. Okay, just be patient, just love yourself and just, understand that, you're here, and it's a courageous thing to be here, really. I mean, you are spending your time and your effort and you're taking a chance on yourself by listening to these ideas, intuition. So, number one, give yourself patience, be patient with yourself and, go with your intuition, act on it, and study what happened, ask
Exactly.
yourself, what
Study what
happened,
happened.
forgive yourself if something, didn't go right, if you messed up, okay? And just think about, why it happened, just say it's okay.
Self forgiveness.
Yeah, I'm gonna, work on it, So all these tools, developing intuition, having courage, being patient with yourself, thinking about, why you're doing the things that you're doing, all add up, so you're just adding, just getting all this good information and tools to help you.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. You have to be, first of all, you're not going to stop gambling if you don't want it. If you don't want it, I don't, you, you could be forced into a, I have a friend of mine, his name is Sam Krish. He used to be the sheriff in Allentown in Ohio. He was in law enforcement between 25 and 30 years. He's in prison right now for 11 years. He's lost family. He's lost his job, career. He lost everything. He is starting over in prison. I haven't heard from him for a while now. He would call me, and for some reason he stopped calling. I don't know why. I know we're all busy. But man, that's a prime example. I'm sure he had intuition going on many times in his life, but he didn't listen. He didn't focus on his intuition. So that's what we have. We're going to be coming down here. Um, if you have, listen, if you have, yes, gambling is like cocaine. It's worse. Cocaine actually might be worse. I'm gonna be doing the giveaways, right? We've got a couple of really cool journals. I mean, they're just simple journals. They're not anything major, but they have some guidance inside. And I believe that if you are into doing some writing and gathering your thoughts, you're gonna really enjoy this little book. It's not the very best material. It's kind of, but it's a little book and you can keep it, and they're free. I've got quite a few of them. Quite a few I'm going to be giving away on several broadcasts. So, the first person that lets me know you want it, send me your address. As long as you're in the United States, I'm going to send it to you free of charge. You don't have to pay for it. And I also have a couple of books that I'm probably going to be sending out also. Um, Now, for the Little Red Book, because these cost me, there will be a shipping, probably the maybe $4 or $5 shipping if you want a free copy with my little signature. And another thing is, those of you that are here, are you interested in community T-shirts? Soldier of Self Mastery, Tribesman T-shirts. We're going to be looking into that. I tried to get into it before, but I believe I'm going to design something. And if I get enough feedback, if anybody wants to buy a T-shirt, they're probably going to run between $20 to $25. That's what they cost. There's no profit for me there. But if you're interested, send me an email. Let me know. I mean, this is gear we can wear, right? We can encourage others to stop gambling. Why not? People are dying and they're being destroyed. Well, that's all I have for the broadcast. Thanks, Jim, for hanging out all the way from Tucson,
Thank you.
Arizona. Again, we are going to be broadcasting on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 7 p.m. It says right there at the top. If you have a question, you can send it below to the email address right below. That's SciTech, Stay in Touch Email Communication. And I'm challenged to start the week and be ready for next podcast. I'll see. Wow, the numbers have been really high. That's really incredible. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about. We'll dig a little bit more into intuition. Intuition. on the next broadcast. So, with that being said, thanks, Mark. Uh, let me see. Boss Clutch. All right. Thanks for joining. We're at the end of the program. K6, Mark, and then this gentleman here looks like fairly new. MMFI LLC with the credit programs, I believe. There was Laura that came on, Hamo. Thank you for coming on. And Laura, Mark, wow, Emily was here. Thanks for joining us. Mark Cameroon, Mark Swihart, getting a few of those. And City by City, thanks for hanging out there. And who else was here? Who else? Make sure that I get all of you guys. And then the rest of you guys that were watching, there's Barry Bob. Thanks for hanging out. Wilson Castillo. Wow, it's been a while since I've Wilson, it's been months, man. Good to see you here on the broadcast. It's been months. All right, my friends, until my next Sunday, remember to make every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top in spite of and because of peace through strength. I'll see you at the top on the inside of my next one. Thanks, Jim,
Thanks,
for hanging
Santos.
out.
Have a good weekend.
All right,
Take
my
care.
friend.
Bye.
Bye bye.